What up YouTube? So today is the AI and blockchain conference holding in Washington DC. It promises to be amazing, so we're headed out for that. Only one slight challenge is that it's snowing today. As you can see, it's snowing. Let me wind down. Snowing, and we have to take the train. Cool. So I had to stop at a Starbucks to grab myself whatchamacallit, cappuccino. But look, everywhere is snow. Get my frappuccino. Okay, anyways. They gave us the wrong directions, or shall I say the wrong address. So that means that I have to walk 7 minutes according to my GPS. 7-minute walk in the freezing cold. Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? But hey, what do you do? All about the blockchain, baby. You should make a song. It's all about the blockchain, baby. It's all about the blockchain, baby. Awesome. All right. What up, YouTube? So, got back from the Washington DC Blockchain AI Summit, which I thought was really good. So learned a lot at that conference. I mean, it was a lot of information to take in, but I thought it was a very, in my opinion, a very great conference. One thing I liked about it, one thing I saw that was very encouraging was the fact that I would say most of the attendees were entrepreneurs, which is great. I mean, because this great country, well, I know that people are watching from all around the world, but in the United States of America, it's interesting how this country originally was a country with loads of entrepreneurs and just few people working for the government and everybody else. But now it seems like it's reversed, where most people are working for paid employment or working jobs, and we have less entrepreneurs. So it was really cool that it was a conference with loads of people who are starting their own business in this blockchain space. It was very exciting, very encouraging. So just a few highlights of, I mean, there's so many things. It was just like a overload of information, loads of breakout groups and sessions. But here are just a couple of things that I'll highlight. First of all, there was a session on AI or blockchain and healthcare. The challenges with, this challenges they're currently having in this space, and I know a lot of people are working on this. There was a gentleman there who spoke extensively on this. I believe he has a company in this space, but something I thought was very cool that I had no idea before was that copyright law. So he said that doctors own, when you take an MRI, an X-ray, when you go to a hospital, I always thought that you own that information. So if you go to get your get an X-ray, I always figured or assumed that X-ray belongs to me, or belongs to, in your case, belongs to you if you take an X-ray, and that you could do with it whatever you wanted with it. But according to law, it's actually copyright law. It actually belongs to the doctor. It's actually a doctor who has ownership of that X-ray or that MRI or whatever it is that you. Whatever information it provides to you. The conflict is, let's say, who owns the data. So if you own the data, yes, you can put it on the blockchain. But what if the doctor owns the data? How do you put that, on the blockchain? Which I thought was very, very interesting. They went extensively. It was a very, very cool session. I thought it was a very enlightening session. They also talked about quantum computing and the effects of what that will be, what that would look like in terms of how secure your information will be on the blockchain. But it's interesting how there are people who are working on different solutions around this space, which is great. I mean, when Google or early days of the internet, I remember someone once said that the issue with the internet was you couldn't find anything on the internet. But the great thing was companies like Google, Sergey Brin, and of course Larry Page saw this. Other people saw it as a problem, and they saw it as a business opportunity. And years later, we have Google. So the same concept, where people. There are challenges in this space, but in solving those problems, and I know there are great people out there who solve these problems. I really think that once these problems are solved, blockchain will have a huge impact in healthcare. So that was a very, very good one. Loads of points in that, but I just thought to highlight and bring that out. I'm hoping that the organizers of this conference eventually put some of the information, make it available. Who knows? Maybe that would be great. So. Something else I want to highlight was the world of blockchain funding. This I thought was very interesting. So it says that the speaker said $5 billion was invested into crypto markets in 2017, $1.5 billion in 2018, which is very, very cool. So there's a lot of funding in this space. Well, however, a lot of people have been fined by the SEC. So what did he said that if you want to raise money for an ICO, you have to go with SEC guidelines, which I thought was which makes sense. But people kind of treat ICOs like it's something out of the SEC purview, but it appears that you should know that you should always follow the right guidelines. So very, very extensive talk he did on that. Talked about what you need to do if you do plan on raising funds for an ICO, so that you don't get into hot water, so you don't get into issues with the SEC. I thought it was a very interesting session, especially for entrepreneurs or people who are trying to create their own token, or try to raise money for an ICO. So that was a very, very good session. There was another third. It was a company overview. I won't say the name of the company. I guess I'll wait for that information to come out before I talk about this. But I can just give you the highlights. So I thought it was really cool. There are these guys who are doing some amazing things in this blockchain space. They are using blockchain and AI to solve some very, very interesting problems. So they have a concept which is very similar to BitPay. I don't have my card here. So BitPay is a Visa card where you can do blockchain. You can do cash-related transactions using a Visa card, and it's connected to your blockchain wallet. So BitPay does that already. You can buy gas, you can buy food. So this company kind of does the same thing. They have their own card where you can actually make purchases. Buy stuff, like how you buy stuff with your bank through your Visa card, which is connected to your bank. So in this case, your Visa card is connected to your blockchain wallet, or your Bitcoin wallet, or whatever cryptocurrency. I can't remember what cryptocurrency they specified. I think it was Bitcoin. So I thought that was very innovative as well. I thought that was really, really cool. What else do we have here? This was cool. I think this was the last thing I'll highlight. The blockchain ecosystem. I think this was one of my most this is one of the sessions I really enjoyed the most. So there's a panel that was discussing how do we make blockchain more mainstream, how do we have mass adoption with blockchain, and a couple of points. The blockchain, well, they say, I agree, blockchain ecosystem will not work unless we have mass adoption. They mentioned that they argue that government has a big role to play. It's interesting how, even though the concept of blockchain and Bitcoin was kind of like, well, not blockchain, but the concept of Bitcoin was almost arguably kind of like anti-government, kind of creating this decentralized network that you can do payments all around the world without having to go through a central authority. But now, in order for Bitcoin or to become crypto, to become mainstream, we now need that same central authority, which is banks, or excuse me, the government, to kind of get involved so we can have mass adoption. Interesting. But I like one point that was raised, that one way to get blockchain to have mass adoption is to use a blockchain-based identity system instead of using your driver's license, which I thought was really, really cool. That's a very good idea. Spread the blockchain message to people. They mentioned a blockchain tech is supposed to cut out the middleman and help the average person. So if we want to have mass adoption, then we should make sure that we help people, make it relatable, develop it in a way where everyone can participate. So I mean, it was a very, very good session. I like that. How do we get blockchain? I think that's where I want to end this. The question I want to ask is that how do we get this concept of cryptocurrency or blockchain to have mass adoption, whereby everyone is using it or using crypto in their day-to-day, well, for whatever, or might not use it to transact, but just have an understanding of how it works. Download your wallet and just play around with crypto. So that definitely is how do we get everyone to get involved. So just about the points again, blockchain and healthcare was one discussion. Second was ICOs and how to raise funds for if you want to start your own ICO. There was a company overview, which I thought was really cool. I like what they're doing. And then lastly, how do we have mass adoption for blockchain and really get everyone involved. So a lot was said at that conference. I don't think it's my place to go out and start to give you all the details. I would love it if the organizers would maybe put it on YouTube, put it online, so that you can see it first from them before. I don't think it's something I'm going to post anyway. But basically, I think I would strongly suggest you attend the next AI and blockchain summit. I'm not sure where it's going to be. I'll probably follow up with the group and see what next they're going to have one of these sessions. But it was really very, very, very cool. Very, very cool. I learned so much. I know I just highlighted 4 things, but it was really, really cool session. So cool conference all in all. So anyways, hope that helps in some way. Let's know what other conferences out there that you think that we should attend. I know we haven't done some hands-on programming yet. We're definitely going to get there. We're just laying a foundation for all the theory and all the different concepts in this space. I know we've gone over certifications, we've gone over books that you can read. Eventually we'll have a tutorial, like a hands-on, to show you different things that you can do if you're interested in becoming a developer, and different resources out there that you can read and try out. My wish for you is that you learn how to code, because coding is changing, will change the world, especially in this Bitcoin blockchain distributed ledger technology space. And in my opinion, those who get involved early will have a huge impact on the future. And if that's you, then let's go change the world.